y'all's music will be on there. So what I'm thinking is this, is that whenever you guys want to play something, if y'all guys can play it from like maybe y'all's computer, or I can play it from, I have my TV on in here and Spotify up already, and y'all's music on my playlist set up. So I could actually play it like that. We could take breaks and I'll play the music, and it should go through my my mics and stuff like that and record. Is that okay with you guys?
Fucking sweet.
Okay. All right. I want to make sure, because you know how YouTube is when you put any music out there. So if that's cool with you guys, and that's cool with me.
Absolutely.
So guys, oh, right, man. So guys, before we start, let me do my sponsors and everything real quick, and we'll get right in it. So people watching, thank you guys again for joining me for another edition of Jackal's Corner. Today, my guest is going to be a little band that I stumbled across through Spotify, actually. It was very random that type of thing happens, that a band that hasn't really got really far out there shows up on your Spotify. So when that happens, you know it's going to be gold. So I checked you guys out and I liked you guys a lot. So these guys are a cool little band from Ohio, right? If I believe right. And
Northeast Ohio, absolutely.
Yes, and they're called Dirt Nap. So let me give a shout out to the sponsors right quick. 5x5 Brewery down here in Mission, Texas, busting out some badass homemade beers for your local establishments. Right now, they just recently got into a bunch of stores, so check them out. They got them at Spec. You can pick up your 4-pack of Burnett Bombshell or your 6-pack of FUBAR at any Stripes, HEB, Specs, Holiday Wine and Liquors, down here in the local RGV, or at if you live up North Texas area or Northeast actually, they just got it in Victoria, Texas yesterday, I believe. So if you're living in Victoria, Texas, look out for 5x5 Brewery. Concert Culture, if you need any help with sound, lighting, DJing, any of that stuff like that, hit them up, man. They're going to take good care of you. And if you're down here in Mission, Texas, out there at the food court out there, the Mission Food Park, stop on in at 5x5 Brewery, and while you're drinking your beers, run on over to Motor Ramen, slamming out the best ramen noodles, rice, everything like that you have ever tried. Go in there, stop in, get yourself some grub, get yourself some beer. You got some fine ladies and live music hanging out over there, so you can't beat it. But with that being said, I want to get straight into this podcast because these guys have been amazing. I've had to reschedule them and they've been solid about it. I fucking love that about them. That and their music is amazing. So without further ado,
Thank you.
I give you guys Dirt Nap.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good, man. So man, tell me a little bit about you guys. Normally my podcasts usually are just super organic, but I really don't know you guys yet. So I'm just as eager to know about you guys as I know my fans are.
Awesome. Well, hey, we're glad to meet you. I'm Matt and I sing, and I'll let them talk.
Hey, I'm Sag. I play drums.
Nice.
And I'm Sebastian. I play a lot of things, but mostly guitar.
Backup vocals and
Any
piano
and string arrangements and stuff. And our bass player Tyler unfortunately couldn't make it with us today, but he's not forgotten.
But that's okay, man.
If you're watching, Tyler, we'll make you proud, man.
That's what's up. Yeah, man. I've had bands on too. So many bands that are from here in the RGV, and it's the same thing. They're like, "Sorry, bro." It's usually the drummer that can't make it. Tell you that. It's usually the drummer.
He's here tonight, though. But.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was like, usually I get the drummer, usually, but yeah, man, this is something that I started for this purpose exactly. I'm not one of those that say, well, I like local bands only in my area.
Right.
I love the underground music. I love the stuff that people are still playing that music because it's their passion. It's what they love to do. And this is what this is for. This is that platform. I have no rules on my show. You guys speak how you guys want to talk. I don't believe in censorship, and I definitely don't think a band should ever be censored in any way, shape, or form. So guys, feel as comfortable as you guys want. And we're just gonna hang out and like if we're some old friends, just chilling and talking and having a good time tonight, man. Get you guys out there so bands can bands and other fans can find you guys. It's one of the big things I want for this. I want this to make it where bands from other areas get to know bands from the valley, and bands from the valley get to know bands out of there, so that it could be just this huge mesh of freaking supporting each other all the way across the place, man. So that's what I'm shooting for this. So guys, how did y'all come to be Dirt Nap?
Well, Sebastian and I jammed for a while, in like an old band, I guess about like 3 years.
About 2011 to 14.
Yeah.
And I was 17 and you were 22-ish.
Something like
Back
that.
when we first met, we were
It
youngins.
was a while ago.
So that was 10 years ago now. So we kind of developed a bit of a relationship. We weren't as close then. There was, other people in the band, and it was kind of more of a team writing effort at first back then. And then Matt and I,
not a lot of communication and stuff.
Yeah.
And I never really, until like 2014 when we started Dirt Nap, I never like sat in a room with Sebastian one-on-one, and wrote songs and actually saw like what he could do. It was kind of one of those where we had, I think, 2 guitarists and we were kind of a side band of another band, and whatever, one of the guitarists usually had to work or something, and it was just kind of how we met, and it evolved into this. And I met Saj through up here, and I was like, I got to start a band with this guy. He was in a band called Silo at the time, and I didn't know how good he was at drums either. I had no clue, but he would jam in my kitchen. I bought a drum set from my cousin for $100, and I got rid of my kitchen table and chairs and put a drum set in the kitchen so that he would jam with me, because I knew like he was on his lunch breaks for about 3 hours. I think you were working as a janitor right at the time. I did too, because master of custodial arts, brother.
There you go.
Yeah, man. And I bought that drum set. It was the best investment I ever made. Thank you, Chris, my cuz, for hooking me up with that. And I still have it. And to this day, it's no longer in my kitchen. But I was like, I got him to jam because he wasn't going to bring his drum set to work with him and up my stairs and everything. But I was like, man, I'll get a drum set. And I started learning too a little bit, but I'm not very good at it. But same with guitar, just kind of helps for songwriting, and
yeah, definitely.
So sure. Why would I get on? Yeah. I saw Saj before, tweeted my kitchen, and I didn't have a PA system or anything. I've always been one of those singers that, shows up, and I have like nothing of my own.
Parking cone.
We called it the mega cone. One of my friends gave me I helped him move, and I got a big like parking cone from, road construction. And I would sing through that to make myself louder, and I'm loud anyway, and try to keep up with the drums. And we jam with one of my buddies, Kyle, I was just trying to, get his attention, and so what I asked him, like with Sebastian and I were looking at starting a serious band, I immediately wanted him. I wanted Saj, and we approached him about it and everything, and started jamming together. And rest is history, I guess, as you say.
Yeah, definitely, man. That's pretty cool, man. Like I said, I mean, I stumbled across you guys because of Spotify. You know how like Spotify will make a playlist of like things you might like. Right. So it's pretty spot on. It's pretty creepy how good Spotify is about that. But definitely, when I saw your stuff, I anytime they put it, I looked their stuff up and I'll start researching them. And I couldn't really find too much about Dirt Nap. And I was like, is this a local band? Did they actually give me a fucking local band? Holy fuck, Spotify. Good kudos to you.
Yeah. Hey, I didn't realize I liked Spotify that much. That's
Right?
cool.
And I found you guys in there and I was like, well, holy shit, man. And I started researching, looked, and then I found y'all's Facebook page and everything. And I was like, dude, yeah, I gotta book these guys. I like y'all's sound. It's very different than a lot of shit that's out there today. I like it a lot. I get a very nostalgic, like 90s vibe from it, a 90s feel. You can definitely tell that you like that kind of music. And I feel that fucking nostalgic feel. I was like, fuck, back when music was fucking really wrote by a musician that just loved what they were doing. And I was like, fuck yeah.
I think all of us to some extent are old souls when it comes to music taste. There's some stuff we all like, and then, you know, there's all kinds of different stuff. I like it started up with classical music and playing piano. That was the first thing I got proficient at. And then I'm a big fan of like all 80s metal and 90s pop punk. Those are kind of my main three things.
Oh, nice.
You know, all those 80s guitar players, when it comes to that specifically, huge influence on me and the techniques. And, you know, from ages 10 to 16, really, I was practicing 4 hours a day, no matter what, scales, metronomes, all that good stuff. So it was weird for me when I first got into a band, a couple bands before this, like trying to ebb and flow with other musicians, and, you know, the timing's not always the best. So I kind of had that end and like the studio end, and then Matt's kind of was like on the other end of the spectrum.
Absolute
he was
opposite,
like all jamming. So, you know, they're both good skills to have, and I think our backgrounds complement one another.
Absolutely. Like I'm always kind of one of those feel it raw kind of guys, but you know, working with
That didn't
Sebastian.
sound right.
Oh man, no. But yeah, I've always been kind of, you know, grungy, whatever, you know, do it yourself, punk rock kind of.
Yeah.
But I love you know, like Alice in Chains, and I love some, you know, good pop rock music and stuff too. Like Nirvana's Nevermind was so cool. That's, you know, I always wanted to kind of make my own poppy rock metal kind of whatever.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I trip out a lot because I see people, when you brought up Nirvana, because I see a lot of people post stuff when, like, in these supposed to be grunge posts or Facebook pages, and it's so weird because every time though there was one that said Eddie Vedder didn't belong with like this Mount Rushmore they did. I think they put like Kurt Cobain, Eddie Vedder, Chris
Cornell, and
one other.
Yeah, Lane Staley. Yeah. See, that's the one I see. Like, I don't see, and I don't know why they wouldn't include Vedder. Like, I've seen Scott Weiland included, and people are like, "Oh, you shouldn't include him. He's not from Seattle," you know.
Yeah.
Now, I love Stone Temple Pilots. You know,
I'll tell you something, man. Stone Temple Pilots is one of my favorite bands of all times.
When I like Scott, their new singer, actually. You know, it takes, you know, that's a hard thing to, you know, but I like it. They got some good stuff.
Yeah, man. Did you ever check out that band? What was it? Project 208?
No.
Dude, you have to check out Project 208. The vocalist is Scott Weiland's son.
Oh, I've heard of them. Shit. I didn't know they were called that.
That's awesome.
Did you have you ever checked out I think it's The Art of Anarchy? It was okay, you know what I'm talking about then. Yeah.
Dude, I freaked out when I found them, because actually when I found Art of Anarchy, it was because one of my friends, he's a big Scott Stapp fan, and he was like, "Hey bro, check this out, Scott Stapp singing in this." And then I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." And once I say something's pretty cool, I'm gonna go fucking balls to the wall and research the fuck out of that band. And I came across with Scott singing, and I was like,
holy hell.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, Stapp was the replacement. Yeah.
That's
I haven't heard any of the stuff with Scott. I'll check it out eventually for sure. But I just kind of stumbled upon them. But
it's pretty much it's pretty much like if Stone Temple Pilots and Creed had a baby.
Right.
That's what you get with Scott Stapp singing it.
It sounds like a good fit, man.
Yeah. It's not too bad. And I definitely like it better than I do Creed, because you really feel like Scott's really becoming himself with that.
Right.
So I'm like, that's pretty cool. And then, like my friend pointed out, he says, at least they kept the vocalist to have the same fucking name. You know, you got Scott and Scott. So, okay. And he's like, at least they come from the same feel of music, of rock and all that. So I was like, fair. So I listened to it and I was like, all right, it's not too bad at all. I mean, I'll give him props on that. But then again, Scott Stapp's an amazing fucking vocalist.
Yeah.
That dude has some pipes on him.
I hate to admit that I like some of Creed's songs.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with Creed. To me, there's nothing wrong with Creed. That was a part of Scott Stapp's life that was real. He was really singing about real issues that he went through. And so anytime an artist writes like that, and I don't care what genre you are, when you write like that, it's always gold in my book, because that's what music is. You're supposed to write stuff that you're connected to and you feel, you know?
I think all people connect with music that comes off as authentic.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's important regardless of genre. Like, I like music of every genre, but you can tell when someone's doing it because, you know, they really feel it and they're into it versus
It's therapy.
other reasons, you know, whatever that reason might be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of always important to us when it came to writing our stuff, is that we didn't care what anybody else was going to think of it. It was really important that we liked it, we were proud of it, and if other people like that, that's cool. But yeah, that's what, at least I'm speaking for myself there. I need to love the songs, or I don't want anybody to hear them. I'd be embarrassed of it, you know.
That's absolutely. And then that's one of the things, like I used to have trouble with back in the day when I used to have bands and stuff like that, was I'd always get with musicians that were like fucking talented out the ass. They are fucking amazing, but they have this shit attitude about writing music or doing anything. They're like, oh no, man, it's got to make money, man. It's got to make money. I was like, bro, it's got to heal somebody. That's what it's supposed to be. If it heals somebody, that person's going to be a fan for fucking life.
Yep. Right. Yeah, that makes a big impact on you.
That is why I wanted to do it. I remember, I never had any musical, like, my dad didn't really play music, there was no musicians in my household growing up, so I would blast my stereo, when I'd come home from school and I'd be upset, had a bad day, so I always, blasted my stereo and I sang along, and I was always pretty loud. So I, cranked my stereo all the way up, and that was how I dealt with everything, pretty much. I just mosh around my room like an idiot pretty much. And it was so therapeutic. And like See There's Fine Again was one of those songs, where it just hit me every word. Like, man, I'm not alone. I'm not the only person that feels this way. And, that hit me. That's, I wanted to be able to do that for someone else. And, I have gotten to, really, which is, it's cool with Facebook and, all the ways you can stream now, you can, your music out there to anyone, so I've had a lot of people that, it means a lot to me when they, tell me you saved my life, or,
absolutely.
Yeah, that hits deep when that happens.
Oh, definitely. Oh, by the way, guys, have you guys heard of this service? It's like a streaming thing, or it's like a Facebook setup for just music. It's just for musicians, or fans of musicians. It's called LUM. LUM. You can get the app on your phone and all that. So what you do is when you upload your music to it, you can post your music and post anything you want. And instead of like Facebook, where people go look you up and they can be friends with you and stuff like that, or it just pops up like that, it just sends it to random fucking people that are on Loom.
Okay, that's interesting.
It sends your music to random people, and they'll send you random people's music. And the cool thing is that they set a thing up that so for every 30 minutes of music that you listen to, they give you these things called coins. And once you get to, like, I think it's like 20,000 coins or something like that, you can cash that in for actual money. They'll do a check.
That would be cool.
Yeah,
like money.
So they're always pushing your music, like 24 hours a day. They're sending it to just random people all over the world.
I would love that. It would make my job easier.
Yeah. Yeah, just check it out. You just set up an account. It's free for you to set up an account on Loom.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of my music friends that they use it, and they're like, man, it's amazing, dude. He's like, they really send you a fucking check just for listening to music. And then they even let you set your own playlist. Like, if you find a some music you like, you could put it in your playlist and just listen to that every day for 30 minutes. I'm like, dude, I'm a musician and I love music. Fuck, I'm gonna be rich as fuck. All I do is just listen to music.
Yeah, I got to get that hooked up.
Yeah, that sounds fucking sweet.
I do that anyways. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Giving it away, man.
Right? I'm like, dude, that's like every musician's dream job right there. They'd be able to play music and then you get paid for listening to music. You're just like, fucking hey, it's fucking great. But yeah, man, I really dig y'all's stuff because it really took me back to those days, like you were talking about, being in your room and just cranking that shit up and jamming out. And I remember doing that, man. I'm 40 years old, and I remember being like 14, 15 years old, jamming out to freaking Pearl Jam and hearing Black and just like, damn, that song's just so fucking deep and so
It's you right.
Fuck? Yeah, and my mom, she knew she done fucked up way back when, because I was like 5 years old, and my mom and dad took me to go see Pink Floyd as a kid. And
Awesome.
my mom's just like, oh, fuck. She's like, this kid is gonna do fucking some drugs and listen to music. And I mean, I can't make it wrong. So, but music has always been that for me, even when I was like a little kid. And I think a lot of it is because I was born really sick. I've always been sick since I was a little kid. I've always had some kind of ailment, and music was always there. It was always there. When friends walked off because they couldn't deal with how sick I was, when family walked off everything, music was always solid. And it's still true today. Music is always solid. And I realized a long time ago that I really get more into local music, passion and stuff like that. I love to feel that vibe coming off that stage. And
me too.
It's amazing. It's so amazing. And I tell a lot of people, the feel it is when you're on that stage, and there's no describing it. You can describe just about any high in the world.
Right. I was just going to say it's the best high you can. It's the best high you can get.
I agree.
Yeah, it's just so beautiful. But yeah, man, I can tell how much passion you guys do have, and all that. And I'm planning on hopefully I can make a trip up there sometime and get to see you guys live, man, because
that'd be awesome.
That'd be awesome. But I also want to bring you guys down here to the Valley.
Fun.
Yeah, dude. And
field trip.
Yeah, man, because I really think you guys would like it down here, the way musicians are, because they're really cool down here. It's just, usually you'll have musicians just chilling, a bunch of different musicians just chilling at somebody's house and talking, hanging out, and somebody will bust a guitar out, and you know how it goes.
Oh yeah.
You can't get musicians around because music is going to be played, you know, every single time. So that's what we do down here. We just like to chill with each other and hang out and support and do our thing. You know, of course you always have your haters and
like
that just want to fuck with your shit.
Right.
But ultimately, it's pretty chill down here. A lot of people just like to hang out and go to shows and have some beers and get high as fuck and jam the fuck out, you know? And that's pretty much how it works with a lot of bands here. I mean, there's a lot of talent down here. If you guys get a chance, check out this band called Viber Haven.
Viber Haven.
Huh. Viber Haven, man.
I don't have to write this down because I can watch it later.
Right. They are amazing, man. They're an amazing band. They have a very if Alice in Chains met up with, like, say, a metal band and meshed together, you would get Viber Haven.
I would probably like them a lot then.
Sound like a good band that would fit on a bill with us.
Yeah, because that's kind of what we're trying to do sometimes. But yeah, we're not really trying to do. I just, it's just the harmonies. You know, that's kind of what reminds me of Chains with us, and which is cool because I'm not used to singing with anybody too much before. So yeah, and that's what something else I was thinking too, and then I got sidetracked as I tend to do. But you know, me being like, you know, kind of grungy, do it yourself, since working with Sebastian, you know, he taught me how to do harmonies, and you know, keeping time really well. And, you know, he'll get the metronome out, whip us all into shape in the past. You know, if it's been a little while and we get too sloppy, or, you know, he keeps us in line. I like to call it mechanical grunge, you know, kind of.
Nice.
You know, it doesn't make sense, but it's, you know, yeah.
Yeah. But about the harmonies and the singing stuff, I'm not a singer. I know it might look like it sometimes, but that kind of happened. I mean, I've been a big fan of harmonies and the way that things layer and arrangements and all that forever. That's what's really attracted it. Music to me is the way that that stuff builds. And when we were working on our first album, throughout that writing process, which is grueling, we're all perfectionists, and every song that we do, there's a score for it. There's sheet music. All the lyrics are documented. Like, I make sure that that is in place, because too many good things are forgotten. You can, you know, write a riff, you know, especially before you had phones and stuff, and it's, you know, it's gone forever. So yeah, nothing is forgotten in this band. It's all highly documented. But with those harmonies, you know, we start recording the first thing, you know, I think it was probably the Weathered and Broken chorus. Might have been the first harmony that kind of happened for us.
I think
vocally.
that's right.
Yeah. So Matt had a thing, and I'm, you know, always thinking of that kind of stuff. I'm like, you know, it would be good if there was one that, you know, just a third above, something simple. And so he recorded a third above on the recording. And then, you know, we kind of have this loop where we'll write and then we practice and we go back and forth and alter it a little bit at a time until it's where we like it. And then we're playing it at practice. I'm like, this sounds so fucking empty now, because it's just him. And like, well, we got to do something about that. I'm like, I guess it's me.
Yeah.
So, and now
and
every song has
scream
harmonies
too. And I still, for the life of me, I cannot figure out how to properly scream.
That was an accident too. That
somebody's got to do it, man. Somebody's got to do it.
The scream. So in the beginning of the band back in 2014, my little brother was in it for about a year and a half.
He was our first bassist.
Yeah, our first bassist.
We've gone through a few.
Hell of a good bassist and guitar player. I taught him all the music theory and the shredding and all that stuff. But something he got relatively naturally was the screaming. Since he was like 9, you know, listening. I've always listened to metal, but I was never able to figure out how to do it. And he was always really good at screaming. So when you know, Matt and Saj and I, we all got together, and I'm like, well, you know, some of our stuff's pretty heavy. It'd be cool to have scream vocals, and he was already good at it, so he was doing it. And then eventually, when that faded out, we're in the same situation again. I'm like, oh, well, they're screaming on the recording, so someone's got to do it. Here we go, learn how to do it. It was just brute force and doing it wrong, just screaming in my car because it didn't feel right sucking that bad at home. So, you know, I had long hour drives at the time. Took a couple months before I even told these guys that I might be able to do this. Still working on it, but yeah, a lot of brute force.
Yeah, I you know, I just sing clean and I yell, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, I write lyrics and melodies, and to me, you know, the music always comes first. Lyrics are always last. Sometimes on the way to record or whatever. But you know, to me, it's always those melodies. You know, I just hear I hear the music and I'll hum to it. You know, just like an idiot, pretty much. And I'll record. You know, send it to them. And
I really like our writing process. And feel free to comment on this, Matt, as we go. It's very democratic. I do a lot of the documentation and arranging and stuff, but there's no one way that a song starts. It could be Radio Silence Saj was playing this killer drum beat one day in between songs at practice. You know, sometimes I get a little annoyed. Hey, we're supposed to be doing this or whatever, but he's doing that thing. I'm like, holy fuck, that's really good. Cool. I started playing a riff. You know? Matt started yelling over it. You know, so it could be a drum beat, it could be a piano line, it could be just a vocal melody. Anything initiates it. But are you familiar with Guitar Pro, the tablature program? Yeah. So yeah, I've been guitar proing since 2009. Like I literally spend a couple hours a day in Guitar Pro. I live in there. So it starts with one thing, then basic, you know, rhythm guitar, bass, drums, work it all out there. And yeah, the vocals in the beginning, it was kind of like a 50-50 thing. Matt doesn't know music theory on paper, but he's got a good feel for things. And so he would come up with a couple of things. I'm like, nah, this note sucks. Like, you know, we're you know,
switch some things around.
We're in Phrygian here. You know, you got to have a major second there, not a minor second. And I'd adjust him.
He tells me when notes clash and things, which is why I'm taking him to a recording session this weekend, or he's taking me actually. But it's for a side project I'm doing. But he's helping me out because
yeah,
he's
and
cool.
I wasn't.
He's gonna help me do I know I invited him. I was like, please help me. I want to do some harmonies. Would you help me write these harmonies? You know, I think it'll be really cool.
Yeah, so that kind
And
of
he's my organization too, because I am a freaking walking like unorganized mess, and he is the complete opposite. So
yeah, I'm too organized. I suck the life out of a lot of things. But with those vocal melodies, so Matt will come up with the initial idea, and then back in the day, I'd kind of do a lot of rearranging of it and build it from there. And it was really important to me, and I think to Matt too, that the vocal line, the melody that it is crucial, and the music itself. Because if you've got an awesome song, I'm talking the music, but the lyrics suck, to me, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
If you have the opposite and you've got a shitty ass song that just sucks, but the lyrics are awesome, you're not going to listen.
Why is anyone going to listen?
It doesn't matter. So if you've ever heard of how James Hetfield kind of goes about the songwriting process, like he'll literally put Juan Nas and mark out how many syllables per line, what notes he's singing, and then Matt comes back in and he's like, okay, these are the words, and they suck at first, and then he doesn't know what he's saying, and then we all kind of look at it, it's like, maybe we're going this path, and then our lyrics end up being really good, but it does start that way. And over the years, now Matt's got enough of an intuitive feel where I don't really need to adjust his stuff. I just write the harmonies. It's like everything he's doing intuitively, even live in real time. It's like when we're writing, it's awesome.
Oh, I'll come up with like a couple, some really good lines here and there. Like, cause I'll hit record and I'll start singing something, and it's, it's Hayes, Nas, I'll improv some lines that I think subconsciously kind of, come out. So then, for every 3 or 4 lines that suck, there's like a really good one, right. And there's one in each verse or part of a chorus or something. And then I just kind of piece it together, and I don't know what I'm writing about. Like, I just kind of, till like after I'm done, kind of, sometimes it'll be months later, I'll be like, oh, I think this is what I was getting at there. Like, I don't try like ever anymore, at least not in Dirt Nap for sure, to write about a subject. It just, I don't know what I'm writing about it. Sometimes it might be too repetitive because it's the same shit's going on in my mind or whatever, but it's not always about me either. I say I'm a reporter. I'm just observing what I see going on around me. It's not necessarily about me.
Right. And then that's the thing, is that I feel like a lot of people, especially a lot of people that are in the younger crowds, that don't really sit and appreciate what the music is. They don't understand that not every time a musician writes a song, they went through that. It's not the case. Maybe they had a dear friend of theirs that went through that. Maybe they had a dad that went through that, or a mom that went through that, or any number of things. Maybe a complete stranger told them a story and they were like, that will make a good song. It happens,
one thing we've noticed that Matt kind of has done over the years is, I think it's powerful and helps us connect with people, is he tends to write about a feeling or a kind of experience, and it's pretty vague. If you're naming the names of places and the names of people, and if you get extremely specific, it's not as interesting. And it's like, well, no, I wasn't in Seattle and went to Kmart and did this. Like, you're not going to relate to it. Like, he's extremely vague with it, but it's really deep when it comes down to it. And I think it could be about anything.
Jerry Cantrell said something about, I think he writes about the feelings, or what he's seeing or feeling, or others are, instead of the situation itself necessarily.
Absolutely.
I had somebody else too, like forever, it was a while ago, with one of my songs, said he really liked the lyrics, like, because he didn't know if I was talking about a girlfriend, an addiction, or what I was talking about, but he felt it, and I was like, that kind of stuck with me, because go ahead, man.
There was an interview that Scott Weiland did on Storytellers, actually, and one of the guys it was more of a show.
I saw that
Storytellers, and the guy asked him about one of the songs. What's that about? And he says, "What's it to you? What's it mean to you?" That's what it's about.
Cool. Yeah, that's powerful.
Yeah, I was like, man, I knew there was a reason I loved you so much.
Yes.
Damn. I like stuff like that. And I tell people, because people will look at my playlist and they're like, what the fuck, man? You got the weirdest fucking playlist. And I'm like,
I get that all the time.
Me too.
I'm like, I just
stuff
love
surprises
it. If it hits, it hits. That's it. That's
exactly
the way.
There
And
was this cheesy pop song I like, and it had lyrics. I drink a little more than recommended. This world ain't exactly what I expected. And I was just like, that fucking caught me, and it's,
yeah, and
it's good.
yeah, it is, man. There's this one chick I've been jamming, man. If anybody who is a fucking musician has to check this chick out. Her name is Tash Sultana. Dude, this chick is a fucking amazing. She plays everything by herself.
Really?
She has no one in her fucking band.
That's awesome.
The best way to check her out is go on YouTube and watch her live videos. Me and my friends were chilling one day and we were taking a little acid trip, and
Hell
we
yeah.
put her live show on, and by the end of it, dude, there was 3 grown-ass dudes just crying, just like, damn. It's just so amazing. You'll see her playing guitar, and then she'll jump over to the keyboards and just start drumming, and then she does this thing where she's singing and beatboxing at the same fucking time.
Holy shit.
Man.
Like, I'm like, she is not from this earth. What the fuck?
See,
Definitely something.
that's
I'm gonna have to
something.
check out.
Yeah. See, I mean that's something I'd love to do, like with us, like live one day. I'd love to, because Sebastian can play so many instruments. I'd love to work it into the shows instead of having to, use the drum pad necessarily.
Yeah.
And have samples for some of the stuff. It'd be so cool to have him like on the keyboards, the synth, just playing an intro by himself for a minute, really feeling it. And then he jumps back and he grabs his guitar, so, we count off and then we all come in and, he's like 6 places at once. Like he tries that already, but
I was gonna say I already like sing and play guitar and run sound and play piano, and
we're trying to see what
Matt's
else
trying
we
to
can
overbook
fit
me.
in there. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. That's a really cool concept to do stuff like that, because like this chick Tash, she got found by she was a street performer in Australia, and somebody recorded her playing on YouTube and put it out there on YouTube. And next thing you know, this chick, even though she got signed, she refuses to play big venues. Refuses. She just will not play. She says, I like the smaller local crowds. That's where I came from. Those are the people that had my back. So those are the people that deserve to see me live. Not these people that jumped on the bandwagon when life was good for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Guys that had my back here, they deserve still to see me, and they deserve to be able to pay and afford it and not break them to be able to see me.
And get close, man.
Yeah.
Get close. Yeah.
I respect the shit out of that, because I mean, she could play the big ass venues and totally sell them the fuck out if she wanted. But she's like, I like this. She says, I never wanted to do this to be famous. I do it because it pays the bills and I get to do what I love to do. She says, I don't want to be famous. I just want to write music for a living and play music. And I'm like, dude, I fucking get that, dude. That's a real musician. You don't give a fuck about the fame, because anybody could have fame for the right price. Yeah. And it's the bands that bust their ass and stay true to who they are that are the bands that outshine everybody in the long run. Those are the bands that people are going to be like, God damn, dude, these guys are fucking amazing. They got their shit down tight, because they're not worried about what everybody else wants. They're saying, you know what, this is what we like. And there's got to be somebody out there that listens to what we listen to and feels what we feel. And you just write it and you just do it. And those are the bands that I really get into. I like music like that. I like people that are true to who they are and don't give a fuck. They're like, this is what came to me. This is what I feel. This is what I'm writing,
Right.
But yeah, man.
I always write. I always like the kind of bands that play that stuff. Like that's kind of like how we got our name, because we play in our area. It's like there's all metal bands pretty much, I think, and then there's us, and there's a lot of like punk rock. Well, there's some rock and roll bands and whatever. But
yeah, part of what had Matt and I feeling a little like disenfranchised with our first group together is we're like not afraid to be melodic. Melody is huge to us, and a lot of like the local metal stuff, it's all screaming, or I mean, and that's
Everyone's got to
cool
be really
too.
brutal
Like,
and really aggressive all the
Children of
time.
Bodom's a good example of a band that it is all screaming, but it's incredibly melodic musically.
Yeah.
There's a lot of substance there. So we're like, maybe we got to, once we realize we shared that, melody is extremely important.
Absolutely.
I like writing real stuff. Like I've been called emo before, but we're like, I like writing about, real shit. So
Right.
I feel like there's so much, like everybody's like, you gotta, you can't, show that kind of side, or you got to be brutal, you got to be metal, you got to be aggressive and in everyone's face and satanic and burning crosses and that's kind of the vibe sometimes I get from some people, and it's like, I don't know, like,
can we just be sad?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah, right. So we called ourselves Dirt Nab because it's the most brutal, metal name, I guess, out there.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
Kind of
we're trying to stand out, right? We'll fool people. We're, our name's deceiving, but
yeah, when you do pull out the Avril Lavigne cover, it kind of throws people off.
Only for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Hey, that's fucking greatness. See, you guys make me like you even more. That's fucking hilarious. You got to bust out the Avril every now and then. You got to. I mean,
yeah, me and Tyler, our bass player, we love that stuff. There's a lot of that early 2000s.
Yeah.
It can be female fronted. There's nothing wrong with that. I love Avril Lavigne's second album. It's one of my favorite things ever.
Yeah.
She went awry, eventually throughout her career, musically at least. But that stuff's really well
Hello,
written.
Kitty.
I wasn't involved.
Yeah, he wasn't involved with that decision. But no, a lot of the stuff, our tastes are different enough where, there's gonna be a song Matt fucking hates when we pick.
Yeah.
When we were choosing covers to try to showcase, he hates it, but the other three of us voted it in. And
every now and then I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. But most of the time I'm fairly.
It balances out. When we choose our live set list, there's a lot of bickering in past bands that we've all experienced about, oh, we got to do this song, this song, and this song. And I'm like, no, we're going to use math. So I came up with an algorithm that's just, we got a 45-minute set. We got to do this. We got to do this. Okay. So we look at our whole catalog, rank it. I do my own rank. This is the song I'd like to play the most, all the way down to the bottom, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Satch does his own list. Matt does his list. Tyler does his list. Throw it in a spreadsheet, average those numbers, sort it, from the average most liked song to least. And then, okay, we got time for 7 songs. Those were the 7. Those are the 7 we're doing. So, there's going to be one song Matt doesn't care about, one song I don't care about, one we all kind of, but it works.
Mine changes. Like I like certain songs, certain days. Like that's just how it is with anything. It's like, I'm feeling angry today. I want to play fast, like heavy stuff, or, let's throw a couple extra sad ones in today, or, kind of just, some days you feel like playing certain songs more than others. So, sometimes I'll fight to get, my way as I do. I'm very stubborn. I'm a little bit of a diva, I guess. I don't know. I try not to be, but that's okay. We're both control freaks, and I think it's really awesome to, for the most part, really, because we usually meet somewhere in the middle or agree upon things, and we all have like 4 reasons or whatever why we feel, we talk about it, come somewhere, to kind of agree upon it. And, the only thing, like with covers and things, the only time I get, really don't want to do something is if I don't feel like I can deliver on it or believe in it, believe in myself enough to pull the song off or feel it, like I don't want to, just half-ass something. People can tell, like, when you kind of going through the motions on a certain, song or whatever sometimes. So, but, certain songs like our covers we done, like Hurt and some of the other things, I really wanted to, certain songs that mean a lot to you, that really powerful, that you just really love to perform. People could tell when you're having fun,
Oh, definitely.
And,
definitely.
And there's songs like the Everly Brothers cover that he got me into, and like my family loves that one, and I didn't know it before, but he taught me how to sing all that. I like it because, I had no idea. Like, it makes me think of like Christmas songs and stuff almost, or like when Scott Weiland would do his like Christmas album, and he did some of his other solo stuff. Like he could sing Sinatra and all this sort of stuff. It was so cool. And, for me, it was kind of a chance I've never approached, that kind of, you know, doing the harmonies and trying that low kind of, you know.
Yeah,
it was fun.
There was a song called Sons of Father on our first CD where the first opening riff, there's a really good vocal harmony on that, and Matt was like, that almost sounds like Mamas and Papas. You know, the style of thing at that. And then so I started thinking, I'm like, what are like the best, you know, harmonic groups when it comes to vocals that I know of? And Everly Brothers, All I Have to Do Is Dream, that song always comes to mind.
Nice.
Those guys executed that so well, and I brought it to the table. You know, no idea what these guys would think of it. And I think that's something that's kind of cool about us is we all kind of have thick skin and aren't afraid to like be embarrassed about something. When Matt and I, we do all of the recording ourselves. I record these guys, and you know, he'll have good vocal days, he'll have bad ones. He'll, you know, try to do this weird thing, and he'll record a line. I'm like, Matt, that fucking sucked. Let's do it again.
He never says that though. He just
you know,
yeah,
in a
no,
way.
he doesn't literally yeah, no, well, like, and I usually know too when I, you know, we know, like, oh no,
yeah,
just
very
keep going,
honest,
keep it going. And then like he knows when to push me, you know, like, and when to call it a day or when to move on to the next song, you know, and you know, get really good takes, and you know, when I need a smoke break, and I know when he's mixing and do what he's got to do. I know about how much time I have to smoke a cigarette and, you know, use the bathroom or whatever I got to do before the next take. And then, you know, and I'll sit there with him for a lot of it too. And I mean, he does so much on his own once we all go home, but you know, just hearing everything, mixing the last album, trying to make sure the sound's perfect. And, you know, it just never is. It's, you just always try. It's always, you want to make the perfect album. And then it's always like, well, the next one will be perfect. That's the only way I can sleep at night, because I'm never happy with anything.
Yeah, you do have to call it quits at some
work.
point. It takes us a while to get a batch of songs where we like it. And yeah, at some point you got to say, all right, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
That is where
we are. Definitely. Because I mean, I'm one of those who I'll repeat it, dude, until it's just to where of my liking. And I've had bandmates that fucking get pissed with me. They're like, bro, just like fucking release this shit already. Man. And I had this one friend of mine, and he was in the room one time with our practice, and I was like, no, man, we gotta do it one more time, man, because I was like, fuck that shit, you know? And and they're like, no, it's good enough, man, it's good enough. And this friend of mine told the guy, he was like, you know what? Do you think Chris Cornell got where he got because it was just good enough? No, he did it because what he put out. He busted his ass to get to where he got. He didn't just put out, it's good enough.
Yeah, not only with recording, but with live shows. Like,
oh my God, Chris Cornell's just
a beast.
Yeah,
man.
He's something.
Oh, I've been listening to him this week. Even him and the version Crawling he did with Linkin Park, him and Chester both. Amazing.
Yeah, that was cool.
Gray Days, while I'm at it. Have you checked out Gray Days?
Yes.
Yes, all right.
They're awesome.
Fantastic. Everybody needs to check out Gray Days. Chester's old band.
Yes.
I was late to that bandwagon, but a couple of years ago, I just discovered them accidentally on YouTube, and it changed my life. So,
oh man, yeah, dude, it's pretty cool, man. It's I like a lot of people who really understand about Chester and Cornell and these people. They weren't your typical vocalists. They sang from their soul, man. And you felt it. Everything they sang, you felt it, and that's why their death was such a big impact, because they touched people that didn't even listen to that style of music, but it was just that voice. It was just brought you in, and he was able to tell his story. And that's what Cornell and Bedington had in common. Other than their voice was just goddamn
amazing. Yeah. No, lyrics. The lyrics. I mean, both of them. That Nothing Seems to Kill Me, Blow Up the Outside World. That's my jam when I'm having bad days anymore. That's one of those where I just, and Nothing to Say. I don't know if that's what it's called or not. It's the first song on the A-side CD I have, but that's kind of one of those. It's how I feel some days, you know. Just I like that a lot. I was looking at some of his lyrics, and you know, I was listening to him a lot, just like the week before he died, and you know, I was really on a Soundgarden kick, and that was shocking. And then Chester was like not long after.
Yep.
So, and you know, I really loved old school, like the first couple Linkin Park albums were amazing. and at least the style I liked. And the even the third one, Giving Up, was that might be my favorite Linkin Park song.
Oh, definitely.
I think I like the live versions better, maybe even, I don't know. I love watching bands like live on YouTube,
absolutely.
if nothing else, but
absolutely,
that energy, and that's for me. Like, I love the energy, the interaction, feeling it, hearing the crowd, getting into it. The more they are, the more, you are. And, it's like a drug, like I said, it's
absolutely. So absolutely. It takes, my dad used to tell me this all the time. When I would do my shows, there would be times where there's only like 2 or 3 people in a crowd.
Right.
Oh yeah.
But those 2 or 3 people were into it hardcore.
Right.
Definitely.
And someone told me, like, 3 people that are into it like that is better than 50 people there that are just like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Because at least they're going to be a fan. They're going to buy the merch. They're going to support you guys. Totally. And one thing I stress on my site all the time when I speak about buying merch, it's not just buying the merch, it's wearing the merch.
Wearing it.
Yeah.
It does nothing if you buy it and put it in your closet. It does nothing for these guys. So when you buy the merch, wear the merch or give it to someone who will wear the merch.
Absolutely.
It's great to give them money. Yep. Word of mouth is the best advertising.
It is.
I mean, you think about how many times somebody came up to you and was like, hey, check this band out, that you never would have listened to before, but your homie said listen to it, so you listen to it and you're like, oh, it's actually pretty fucking good.
Right. Totally.
I used to like to, that was my thing, was I thought I read somewhere Phil Anselmo tried using this technique when I think he was trying to get down going or something, but he would hand CDs and demos out to somebody or whatever, and he knew they'd just throw them in the trash if he said they were his, probably, because I've had that happen too. But he would say, oh, this is, some up and coming band or whatever I heard, like, you got to check these guys out, whatever, act like he didn't know the guys or whatever. And, they'd be like more likely to listen to it or whatever. They had no idea it was even in the band or anything. So that always kind of stuck with me too.
Yeah.
People don't want to give it a chance,
Yeah, absolutely. And I have a friend of mine, he's actually with a guy that usually runs all the cameras and stuff. So his name's Jay Moniz. He goes by that name, Jay Moniz, and plays. And this guy is fucking amazing. Dude, when he sings, I just freak the fuck out. I'm like, why the fuck are you not signed yet, bro? Like, what the fuck's going on here? But he likes to do this thing. Anytime he sings one of his originals, he'll say it's like a big artist's song, and people will come up and be like, man, that was a cool song. Where can I find that song? And he'll be like, oh yeah, well, it's actually my song, so I have it on this album right here, you can buy it if you want. There you go. I'm all like, dude, that's badass, but this guy's amazing. The first time I met this guy, I was like, oh man, he's going to be some like Tejano guy or country guy. And I was like, it's okay, but all right. But when this guy sang, I was like, what the fuck is going on here? This guy sings with so much fucking soul. And it just blows my fucking mind when he sings. And that guy is, he's actually playing a gig tonight. And that's why he couldn't be here. And I just freak out. He sings this song Cold by Chris Stapleton. And if you guys haven't heard it, you guys like songs that you feel, listen to that song, dude. That song is like, damn. Anybody who has ever been heartbroken is going to be like, damn, this song. Yeah, And the way he sings it better than this guy. It blew my mind when he sang it. Like when my homeboy sings it, you really fucking feel like he's been through some shit and he's just getting it out. I'm just like, what the fuck?
Therapy.
It is. And so that's why when he told me, he was like, hey, dude, I'm being booked on Thursdays now, man. I was like, dude, get it. Fucking go and perform. I got this. Like, I'll never stand in between that, man. That's fucking beautiful. And I support that. And anybody who is selfish enough to say, well, fuck that. you know, you made a commitment to this, you know, is a fucking asshole. That's not a bro, you know, that's his dream and that's his passion. And that's truly the way he escapes life, you know, and
Right.
I'd be a shitty ass fucking friend to be like, fuck that shit, you know, plus he gets paid for it. So, I mean, that pays his bills.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, see, music, I mean, that's kind of what drives me. I mean, my dad, he just passed away this past Saturday, very unexpectedly.
Oh, damn, man.
And he was recovering from a quadruple bypass surgery, and he was about 15 days post-op, and you know, so it's been one of those weeks, and I think, you know, I didn't know what to do about the podcast today, and I'm supposed to record this weekend and all this stuff. So, you know, I I think if I didn't have this, you know, I probably wouldn't have gotten out of bed, or I'd just, you know, be getting drunk or something, which I'm trying really hard not to do. So, you know, this is my therapy. This is what I love. This is my passion. And if I wasn't, you know, didn't do this, I don't know, you know, where I'd be. Like, it's, you know, I don't know how to explain it really, but this,
I get
you know,
man.
It is an escape to a degree, you know, but it's also, you know, that's how I deal with everything. And so I, you know, that's why I just I can't wait to get back on stage, you know, because writing's cool, but it's a very, as he said, very frustrating. And because we're such perfectionists, so like I miss playing shows with, you know, all with everything. We haven't really gotten to play any shows recently. We were hoping one maybe in July, or it was June or something, that didn't pan out. But, you know, we're gonna look into some other stuff here. So, but you know, I love, you know, the crowds, that energy, I miss that shit. Yeah, I miss it. I miss the hell out of it. Seeing all my friends and meeting new friends.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, man. Well, I definitely want to bring you guys down here. That's for sure. So I'm going to look into some stuff and figure it all out, and definitely get in touch with you guys on that.
That would be awesome.
Work something out with you guys. Cause yeah, man, I understand that. I understand the need to be on that stage. You know, I'm at a point in my life where my health will not allow me to get on stage, because adrenaline can stop my heart now, because I've had multiple heart attacks.
Oh man,
dude.
So this is the next step. It's helping bands like you guys get out there. But even the way it is now, I have to like at least get up on stage and like set stuff up where I could feel that, because I miss it. So I can only imagine how an active musician is going right now. It's a beautiful thing to be on that stage. But the good thing is for musicians and that have me at their shows now is that I have that energy of the musician. So I'm shooting that shit right back at the musician. I'm like, yeah, let's do this shit. And I feel that shit. And
we feel it too. You know, it makes the show, you know, so much better. That energy, you know, you look on people's faces, see them having a good time or feeling it, you know, you can tell when they're into it and they want to fist bump you and, you know, whatever. And it's, you know, come up and talk to you afterwards and buy you a beer. Everybody wants to give you a beer.
Oh, that's for sure. That's for sure. A lot of the musicians down here trip out with me, because when I first moved down here, I lived in this city called Mission, Texas, and all the shows were in McAllen, Texas. So that's about a 5 to 10 mile walk. And I would do that every fucking time there was a show. I'd walk from my house 10 miles to go see these guys jam, and then walk back home at the end of the show. And bands would freak out. They're like, what the fuck? There's people that live literally in this city 2 blocks away, and they ain't making it. Like, you walk 10 fucking miles to see.
That's some dedication.
That's what I was, dedication.
And I'm like, of course, man. I got you guys, man. Hey, I just have this love of music. It's just, I have to have it. If I don't see live music, or I'm not around live music, I get depressed. And I'm like, what the fuck? But as soon as I walk into a show, it's just boom, lit up again. It's like my battery is dead. And once I go to that live show, or I play some music on my guitars or something, it just fills right back up. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I can go again, you know? And that's why I do it. And I've had a lot of friends like, dude, you've had heart attacks and you still do it? I'm like, fuck yeah. There was this one show that was going to go down, and that day I ended up having a heart attack at the beginning of the day. And I tell the doctor's like, you're having a heart attack. We got to take you to the OR, blah, 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 you know, doing his spiel. And I was like, I don't give a fuck what you got to do, but you better have me out tonight because I got a fucking show to support. The doctor's like, you're not going anywhere. Like, you had a fucking heart attack. So I get in my room and I'm like, hey, I got to get to that show. And they're like, nope, you got to sign out. And then you can go, and we aren't responsible. Okay, fine, fuck it. Sign that thing.
It reminds me of that Caster line, dude, man.
Yeah.
He's
one of the supporters at our seats, walker and everything.
Yeah.
Mosh it out with Metal Mafia, rock it out. Yeah. Man,
love that guy.
Never stop. Yeah.
That's the way it is. And I tell people this, they're like, dude, you just had a heart attack. You should be in the hospital. I was like, look, if I died here at a show,
that's the place to be. Right.
Doing what I love to do. So it's better than being miserable laying in a fucking hospital bed if I was going to die. I mean,
that's no way to go.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
No. I want to, go out doing what you love, and life is too short. You got to spend it, doing what you love, what makes you happy. And,
Yep.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And a lot of people don't do that. You see so many people that have like what they will say, like a near-death experience, and it changes them, and they don't do the things they love anymore, and they're careful about everything. And I'm like, look, if it's time to go, it's your time to go. You can't change that. No matter how careful you are, your time to go is your time to go. Yeah. And be yourself. Just enjoy life, because the fuck. So you lived your life super, super safe for what?
Right. Are you really living?
Yeah, you're just simply
the whole time.
Yeah, and it's fucking crazy that people do that, and I'm not one of those people. It actually changed me, where I just started living even more free, and like, fuck it, I like to live in the moment and just enjoy that and absorb that, and because you don't know what the next second's gonna bring.
Yeah, you never know when it's gonna be your last day. I mean, everyone's born with different genetics, different situations. Freak accidents happen all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I've gone through my own health problems and things. So, I one of my biggest fears is always, losing my mobility, not being able to walk and move and everything.
Absolutely.
And so, I just, I want to do everything I can while I'm young. Well, youngish. But, you can't spend your life making everyone else happy.
Absolutely.
Because it's too short. You get one life, not a practice one, as my cousin always said. And, you got to go out and do it, make the best of it. You
Yes.
don't, do it while you're young too, because, it doesn't get easier.
Yeah. And we're all aware of the 27 Club. And when I was 10, that's when I started taking guitar really seriously. It was first time I heard Mr. Crowley with Randy Rose on it.
Yeah.
And, of course, I research everybody once I get into it. And I'm like, this dude was 25 when he died. I got way into Blizzard of Oz and Diary of a Madman and all that. Yeah. I'm like, okay, I'm 10. Okay. Getting started here. And I'm like, what if I don't have that long?
Yeah.
You never know. Like, he didn't know he was going to die. Of course, that plane accident was a freak thing. But the way that he behaved and how much he practiced and all that, it's almost like he knew, I don't have much time to make an impact. And, to this day, what he accomplished in that brief period of time, I think it's healthy to act like, you got to do everything right now, because who knows?
Yeah.
If you got another 50 years, that's awesome. You can keep going like that forever. But
absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. And a lot of people don't live life like that. Even people that just never really had anything happen to them, they still react that way. And I'm always telling them, come on, live life, man. Just live life.
You have to.
The greatest thing that a person can ever do is live life, because by living life, you're going to make that impact on somebody. Somebody else may be going through that same shit, and they're like, well, this guy's freaking doing it. I can do that too. And I can
exactly right.
And I can push. And yeah. And And that's the biggest thing. I always say, with me having my podcast, I should always be a person who is pushing out that good vibes and lifting people up, because a lot of people don't do that anymore. A lot of people look out for themselves and fuck everybody else. But when you get on that level that you're like, you know what, we're all in this shit together. Let's fucking get out of it together and just support. That's all it is. It's really not that hard. And if somebody's really your homie, it should be just second nature for you to support them. That's your homeboy. Like, why wouldn't you do that? And I've met a lot of people who have homeboys and bands, and they're like, well, nah, because they play with this guy and I don't fucking like that guy. And I'm like,
that's
everybody hates everybody.
yeah,
that's my whole new thing anymore. Like, that's your problem, not mine. I like that person. You don't like them. We don't have that in common. We got other stuff in common. So we just, talk about that. We just don't get together, with those people or whatever. Always make shows and everything awkward though.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it does. And that's why I'm like, dude, we're all in this together. It's not like anybody's really competing against you. We're all doing this together. We just love music, and let's fucking, if you don't like anything else about a person, at least you have that common ground that you appreciate music and build from that. Like, that's what music's for,
Yeah, I agree.
It should bring people together and not tear them apart.
Absolutely. And I don't understand it. I've met so many people that are like, well, I listen to grindcore and well, I listen to metal and I listen to real metal. And I'm like,
right. That's one of my pet peeves. That's kind of why we called ourselves Dirt Nap, was just that whole attitude,
mm-hmm.
I still get annoyed with the whole, it's support Cleveland metal. It's like, why don't you, just support Cleveland music?
Period.
Well, look at me. You didn't.
I'm like a big believer of that. There's good and bad in every genre.
Oh, absolutely.
There's overall metal is probably my biggest thing, but some metal bands are really great, some are really bad. Even within the same band, Metallica, whoever, got some really good stuff, some really bad stuff, and there's some killer bluegrass. There's some bad classical music. As much as I like it, there's good pop punk, bad pop punk. When you can tell when someone's trying their hardest, they studied, all that kind of stuff. It comes through. So yeah, being metal just for metal's sake, if that's not where your strengths are, that's not where your writing skills are at, it doesn't really serve anybody any kind of justice.
Or just it's what everybody else is doing,
Yeah, we don't really do anything trendy.
I'd rather stand out than
worse.
fit in if I can. I've always kind of stood out for better or worse, but
had a lot of Bach in my listening at one point a couple of years ago, and I was doing a lot of harpsichord playing, and then the Pain and Fortune intro kind of came about, and I'm like, well, I really like this harpsichord intro. I don't know how these guys are going to feel about it, and luckily they liked it, and when I was a little nervous the first couple of times we played that out live, I'm like, generally we play with other metal bands and rock bands and stuff, and I'm like, not sure no one else is going to have a harpsichord intro, so but people dig it. They can tell we're into it, and
I like the time we couldn't use the sample pad at a show where we have like the harpsichord programmed in, and they know how to play it on bass and guitar anyway. So it's like when they did that for the opening, everyone was just like, "Holy shit!"
We always have backup plans for backup plans.
I actually kind of like it better that way, honestly.
It's cool to have both.
Yeah.
It is. And that's something that's good about, Matt, Tyler, all of us really, we play multiple instruments and stuff. And, I'm a relatively proficient drummer, nothing like Sag, but, so, we can help each other write, I can kind of help Matt write vocals, and Tyler's, he's picking up drums the last few years. He's getting pretty good. And it's really cool. Guitar players are known for it. They tend to have egos, It's cool that I'm the only one in the band now. It helps. We've always been a one guitar player band. But along that lines, I don't care for lyrics, who wrote them, who's got the best stuff. I don't care if Sag writes my guitar solos, things like that, whatever the best option is. And we're all very good about that. We're about the net good of the band.
Yeah.
So definitely. Whoever's got a good idea, that's what we're doing,
Absolutely. And that's the way it should be. I think that's the reason why I think you guys will link up with Vibrahaven really well, because that's the way they are too. everybody's a part of the band. Everybody writes, everybody puts shit in. And well, their vocalist though, he'll look over it and he'll be like, okay, yeah, you know, well, this doesn't really fit into the style of what this album is, but we're gonna put it on the next one. That's more for that one, you know. And they work it out to that way, and they're amazing with the way they write. And their vocalist though is like the most humble fucking guy you'll ever fucking meet. It's just really chill as fuck, and you'll be like, man, that was fucking badass. You'll be like, it's all right. and that's how he is. But he's a perfectionist too. He's one of those that if you fuck up on the stuff, he'll stop you right there and be like, no. There's no use in you playing it. There's no use in you playing it. You done fucked up on that part, so now we got to play it over. So why am I gonna let you play the whole song just so you can play it over again?
Waste time. Yeah.
Fix that part, you know. And the cool thing is that the whole band is like that too. So all of them will do that, and they have their guy that he plays guitar and keytar, and
nice.
And this guy is fucking amazing. He has a degree in music for one. So when he joined the band, their music just totally changed to a good way. And it was amazing how it is. And they all just get together and they do this. So during this whole COVID shit, it fucked them up so bad because their keyboard guitarist is he has a immune system problem, so they made it really hard.
It, yeah.
You know, so they would do this. They would go on Zoom and they would just do practice together on Zoom and hang out together like that. And and I'm like, dude, that's fucking badass. You like, even this fucking shit didn't stop you guys from jamming, dude. That's fucking legit. Yeah, and they just are that way. They're very much about their music and very much about writing. And even when they have an album already just releasing, they're already writing for the next album. And
that's kind of how we are.
Yeah, we're currently working on the next like couple of projects, albums, EP, whatever. We don't want to give too much away. I think I may have already told probably too many people anyways, but we're going to try to do like an EP. Like we kind of want to do something, you know, we'll see how it turns out, you know, but hopefully, you know, something kind of Jar of Flies, Sapish kind of, where it's
nice.
A little, you know, it's our softer, more depressing, more acoustic, but you know, I still want drums, bass, and everything.
I'm kind of excited about how the drum tracks are sounding on some of this new shit.
Yeah, and we got, you know, and we're writing a really typical Dirt Nap heavy kind of full length album we're going to work on as well, and we're kind of going to figure out what songs belong on what album and everything. And you know, I don't know, what 5 or 7 songs on the EP probably, depending on how long they are. It's just going to be shorter. Yeah, different vibes, you know.
Definitely, man. Yeah. I'll be looking forward to that, man. I'll tell you this: you definitely got a lifelong fan here, man, because I dig y'all stuff. It's very rare. Which, by the way, congratulations! You guys are the very first band that I have on here that is from out of the valley or out of the state of Texas. Period.
No shit.
That is awesome.
That's so cool.
That is an honor.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I was gonna stick. I originally, when I started this, I was just gonna stick to just strictly bands from the valley. But when I heard you guys, I was like, you know what? I gotta bring these guys on. You guys hit a certain spot of me. You guys, like I said, you guys made me feel like that 15-year-old kid again in my fucking room, just jamming the fuck out.
Dude, that means a lot to me, man. Probably all of us.
As soon as I heard you guys, I looked at my wife. I was like, babe, you know what's happening, right? She's like, got to bring him on the podcast. I was like,
that's awesome.
Absolutely. Yes. Hey, it's been a long time since I've been able to get up and just jam out, and you get y'all's music for that little bit of time. I had that energy to be able to get up and jam out. And I was like, dude, these guys are badass. Like a lot of bands haven't been able to do that for me in a while. So it sparked a side of me again. And that I was like, fuck yeah, dude. But yeah, speaking of y'all's music, I think we should play some.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Yeah, man. Well, right before we started this, I was actually listening to your song, Radio Silence.
Oh, hey.
Shit.
Are you guys down for that one?
Yeah, this is one of the best drum beats of all time. I'll brag on Sage's behalf. I love this.
Nice.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, guys. So for you guys that are going to be watching at home, this is Dirt Nap Radio Silence off of their album Mozart Nirvana. Okay, play, guy. Hold up one second. So yeah, guys. So during this time, have you been able to write music or record or anything at all?
Oh yeah.
That's about all we've been doing.
Yeah, pretty much.
As soon as we released our last album, that's when the pandemic hit. So, we were ready to start.
We got our album release show in, and then COVID
was the last
struck.
one. Yeah,
that was
literally
it.
the last thing we did.
We still have copies of Mozart's Nirvana if you need any. Yeah. But yeah, we're hoping to get out after this is all over and play those songs, in front of people more, and promote the album. And we have shirts and everything, and we're still writing. I think we have like 6 songs instrumentally done and recorded. Arrangements are all figured out. I just got to finish up lyrics, but I know, everything's set in stone. Yeah, the vocals are there. The vocal melodies are down. All the length
syllables
of everything.
per line are there.
Oh yeah, it's all good. It's just I just gotta finish writing. I even recorded scratch vocals just so I could, hear some.
That was a first for us.
And that's
some actual scratch vocals.
That's going to be the way to do things going forward, because that's really going to help me write faster.
Oh, absolutely.
I get stuck sometimes, and I have to have I go over and have Sebastian kind of poke at me a little bit, and
nice.
I don't, this is probably the longest I've sat in a while. I don't sit too much. So, he'll pull up a keyboard and everything, or he'll have all of his, gadgets and gizmos going. And I'll just stand there and you want a chair, Matt? No. And then he'll just, he'll start, everything I say, I'll random shit. He's just putting it all in, and he's got like the Wikipedia, thesaurus and stuff up, and trying to find all the, and figuring it all. And I'll go out on a smoke break after I'm like, shooting some lines out the door, while I'm having a cigarette, and letting them know, hey, just thought of this and this. And so when I have those days where I don't get the pen and paper out, and I'm not, functioning as well to write stuff down because I'm very unorganized. He, sometimes he'll hit me up and be like, hey man, it's time to have a session, kind of.
Nice.
But this last time I was like, hey man, I need a session, I'm stuck.
Turned the tables on me there.
Yeah, I was like, I need a poke now. So I initiated that one. So I wanted to get a jump start on this album. I was hoping to have at least some of my vocals like recorded before, quarantine ended and stuff, but it doesn't look like it might be that way. But at least we've got half the album written, or one of them, good chunk of material. But I think we'll probably not play any of it out live for a long time yet. Maybe 1 or 2 songs after 6 months of playing out, or a year. We'll see. Maybe after we sell all the albums we have, if those are all gone, we'll play a new one for you. Maybe that's yeah.
There you go, guys. Yeah. You got an incentive to buy their freaking album.
Mozart's Nirvana up there. I gotta see which way I'm pointing. Everything's backwards.
Yeah. Well, it's actually in real frame. So I guess this is my first time using Zoom. I use Microsoft Teams at work every day, so it's a little new. And the default was to mirror the image. I'm like, I get it if it's just like a face, but like, we got that guy over there. I don't want that all backwards and shit. So it's a little actually for us. Yeah.
On my end, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah. So really, the first album, we did way too much of the stuff like ourselves. Like, I think I'll always want to record us and stuff, but like Matt's a genius when it comes to like art direction and things like that. But like, we took like shitty doodles, and I'm learning Photoshop on the fly, and the overall product was decent in the end and stuff. But like this time I'm like, I got no shame. Like, it doesn't need to be me. So Matt got in touch with a good artist. So
yeah, outsource.
we got a guy who makes our merch or t-shirts and stuff like that. That's local. So I'm not afraid to ask for help at this point when it makes sense. So yeah, I've got no business writing lyrics. The chick that did this for us, she did an awesome job.
Yeah. That's really, I actually like the album art, man. It's really fucking cool.
I gotta give a shout out to my girl Kylie. She's cool. She's I met her on Facebook and stuff. She's friend artist. She has a page, White Wolf KJ Art. And like I had some of the ideas, you know, and I gave her probably so many gray hairs or nightmares at least working with her. But she still holds it against me. I paid her like $40 one time for, you know, some of it, and then I gave her more after. I wasn't, you know, but she was, and you know, it was cool because she's on a different time schedule, and I was a bit of an insomniac at the time, so you know, I'd stay up till 4 a.m, you know, writing, sketching stuff out, telling her how I wanted it, and she would, you know, send me a thing and be like, "That looks good. I want more. You know, I want more of this and more. You know," and all these. She hated me for a while. But
there was a lot of back and forth between Matt and her with just like the amount of wear and tear on it. It's like, you know, this couch looks pretty shitty, but you know,
it's just
a little more wrinkly over here.
Yeah. You had some cigarette burns, a little bit of moth, you know, a little more fray to it. You know, like the last day, like right before we printed it, or the day before, I think we added. I was like, "Can you add like a little brick wall patch on the back of it with like where it looks like a mouse is coming out, or like almost not really a mouse, but it just looks kind of like what you'd see, you know?" She added that like last second. We were getting the track listing in there, and after that, I was like, we're done. You can sleep now. You know, I'll leave you alone for a while. But yeah, she does really amazing work.
Amazing.
Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, I dig it. Well, like I said earlier, we are gonna go ahead and play some of their music right now. So I figured out all the technical crap on it, and again, this is Dirt Nap off of Mozart's Nirvana. This is Radio Silence. Probably a break because he's going to edit it later too. So yeah, if it doesn't play right, he can edit it later.
I'm gonna take a quick break.
How
Okay, that was Dirt Nap off of the album Mozart's Nirvana. That was Radio Silence. I'm gonna go ahead and play you guys another song off of the same album, Mozart's Nirvana. This next song will be called Pain in Fortune. Fortune.
I'm back.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I don't know what it was sounding like on your end, but I think you might need to overlay that in post.
It's cool, brother.
Yep.
Now,
So we're good to keep going for a while if you're good.
I went ahead and played the second song.
Cool.
Okay, guys, so we are back now.
Yeah.
I went ahead and gave them a double dose of you guys, and yeah, man, the last song, Pain and Fortune, I dig it a lot, man. I was telling my wife the beginning part reminds me of like an old school video game.
Yeah, I could see that. Yep.
I was like, dude, that sounds like when you're fighting the big boss at the end of a badass game, man. Fuck yeah, dig that. But
Yeah, that's cool.
yeah, man, you guys
Glad you
are
like that.
pretty legit, man. I'm glad I got to sit down with you guys and everything. I'm gonna go ahead and in the podcast and stuff. But guys, keep in touch with me. I definitely want to be booking you guys down here in the South Texas, possibly all of Texas region. Get you guys out there. I have connects in different cities here in Texas, and
Cool.
I could definitely book you guys because I think your music needs to get out there. It's a breath of fresh air compared to a lot of the cesspool of crap that they've been pumping out here of late. I'm fortunate enough to live in an area that there's so much talent and so much good music that you could pretty much stay busy just following bands down here.
There is good music out there. You just got to look
How
for
are
it.
the crowds out there?
It all depends. It really does on the night and what other shows are being booked that night because
yeah.
it really
That's kind of like here.
it also
too.
depends on the venue. If you go to places like in Harlingen, if you guys came down, I would book you guys in Harlingen at a place called the Hop Shop. This place has been open since the 70s.
Shit.
That's cool.
And these owners literally opened this place strictly because they wanted local bands to have a place to play.
That's
And
sweet.
yeah, so that's where all the people that really love music go. That's the spot right there.
Yeah, those places are dwindling away in Cleveland area, man.
Yeah,
they kind of are. Yeah.
Yeah, you go into this place and it looks, you see it. You just walk in and you're like, dude, this is like one of those places that you would have seen in like the old school metal videos, like Motley Crue and shit, where it's just dingy and just, you're like, yeah, I'm home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're all really cool, man. It's BYOB, well, bring your own bottle. They only sell there. So it's a cool little spot. And I endorse that place a lot because I've had a lot of good memories there and a lot of cool bands I've seen. They even booked like they had DRI play there. Like,
okay, yeah.
I was like, any place that DRI is cool to play and I'm fucking down with, man. That's fucking cool. They're always about that. They're always about the locals first. And any show they bill, even if it's a big act, they say local bands have to be on there. Period. No ands, ifs, or buts. Like, I don't care what your shit is. We'll book you, but local bands have to be support to it. We don't want all that bullshit, you know. So I dig that, man. I dig places like that really put their heart and soul into a local band or local artist, period, because it's a dying art now that people that actually support it. Like I said, I'm fortunate that there's places down here like that. There's a place called Cine Re, and it's an old movie theater that they converted into a venue. And the owner opened that thing up and like, fuck, dude, Cine has been open for so long that it's considered a historic landmark.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, and a few years back, they started doing this thing where they try to shut down all live music in McAllen city limits, and so we had to protest that shit. And of course, fuck yeah, we did. You know, and they started this movement down here. It was called Amplify 17th because that's the street where all the music goes down. And yeah, dude, we got it where they didn't do it. And kept our live music scene there. But the cool thing is that Cena was one of the ones that was at the forefront of it and pushed it and was like, fuck no, dude. And being that they're a historic landmark, they can't shut them down.
Nice.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's an interesting mix of events there.
Yep. And so they helped us out, and we got it reversed where we can have our live music again, because that's some fucked up shit. I was like, man, what the fuck? Are we footloose or what? Like, what the fuck here? You know? But yeah, man, it was good sitting down with you guys and everything. We're definitely gonna have to do this again, but hopefully next time we can do it in person, man.
That would be great.
Go out to Ohio. I can actually see you guys live and then interview you after the show or before the show.
That would be
that would be cool. Yeah. Absolutely.
I'd be down for that, man.
Yeah, we're hoping to get something going real soon here. Things are starting to open back up out our way. So
yeah, it's looking up.
Yeah, within the next month or two, hopefully we'll be back on that stage and get to promote our latest album that came out last year, like really early last year.
Nice, man. And best of luck to you guys, man. I hope the best for you guys, because you guys are definitely a band that needs to get out there and be heard. Like I said, it's a dying art that musicians are like you guys that actually write music because you love to write music, and that you guys are passionate enough about it to say, you know what, we're not happy with it. Fuck if anybody else is gonna be happy with it. We're not happy with it. It ain't going out. And I respect that a lot. So again, if you guys got any shout outs you guys want to give, go ahead. And you guys
I mean, I'd love to just shout out, all my friends and family, for helping out, and my bands and everybody. And once again, for our White Wolf KJ Art, check out her work. It's fantastic. She's doing commission stuff, and whatever, look her page up or hit me up if you need, and I'll send you her way. But
definitely
album work done, shirts, whatever, she does some great work. And I want to shout out Randy Fitz. I think it's Fitz,
I believe.
Is it Fitz? Yeah. So one of those two. He's helped,
in the credits on all of our Facebook videos.
He helped make the drums on the last album happen, and helped with some of the mixing and mastering, and it was good to have some outside ears, helping us out. So, him, just, my buddy Heath, he's been cool during this whole time. And, we're doing a project with him. So, doing a few songs at some point, featuring Dirt Nap, and he's doing a song with him too on, he's been really cool. I've been in touch with him a lot, during this time. And,
yeah, we've all thrown a little bit. I did some solos on some stuff. And
so Bent Domain is the name of his project. It's a, collaboration thing with him. And so I wanted to give him a shout out. And my other band, It's All Been Done. It was my first band ever back in the day. We're doing a reunion, making the new music instead of playing our old shit, after like 12 years. So, I'm going to go do that too. And Sebastian's helping me out. So, but,
I'd like to thank
Jeffrey Wissinger, we miss him. Freestock. He's a guy that put on for 7 years. I think 7 was it? This huge, local festival,
out in the boonies.
It's called Freestock, and it was like Woodstock, and we had 3 stages going sometimes, and that's the last show we played. We couldn't tell anybody about it because
it was when things
a couple hundred people showed up. It was a really good time, and our bassist was like, "Don't tell anybody I was here," and but sorry, Tyler, enough time's passed. It's okay. But we love Jeff. We used to stayed there for a while. That's where we used to practice for the first year of a band when we didn't have any equipment or anything. So
he took me in, man. I was living in my car and shit. Dude, it was rough. No, dude took me in. It was like kind of like a camping trip that never ended. I mean, it was living in the wilderness sort of, but
that's what
took me in though, man. Like, I mean, it was some people know Jeff, from the Freestock thing.
He did a lot for the scene.
He did. So, I mean, it was just this free thing where you can just camp for the whole weekend, and there, like he said, 3 stages and shit. And
nice.
And they're just
30 bands probably.
Bands would come all the way from like Erie, PA, and fucking Youngstown, Akron, Columbus sometimes, like just
It was
from
a
far and
giant
near,
party,
just
you
in
know.
the middle of the woods.
That's what's up, man.
So he was great.
He was, that's what people know him from, but he was a lot more than that to me, like personally and shit.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
But,
the guy took you in. I mean, I can feel you, man. I can
he's a
feel you
good
on that,
dude.
man. I've had my friends, a couple friends who have had my back like that. Good people, man.
Yeah.
I always tell people that's a hard thing to find, like legit good people, that just want to help. They're just like, hey, I got you, man. Yeah,
Actually,
man.
that's kind of where we formed was in the shack, man, in the middle of the woods.
We practiced. We played our first show there, really kind of under a different name, and that's where we practiced for the first year.
Yeah,
and
that's where we learned like the first few songs. Man.
He was our band dad, our first band dad, kind of for then. So I love band dads,
Totally.
So
Yeah.
that's a whole nother podcast probably, but
Yeah,
not
but, to be cheesy, but I'd like to thank both of my parents. They've both been very supportive of the band. My mom's barn is where we practice nowadays since probably 2016 or some shit, last 5 years or so. She's been really cool with that. She lets us be really loud and bad when we're first starting, working through some songs so we can make sure it's good for you guys, down the road. And then my dad's always at every show we're doing, helping load stuff. Super into it.
He's fun.
Yeah.
Love you, Scott. We know you're watching.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, all of our families have been really great and supportive in what we're doing. And
Sadge's dad, he's cool. I think he wished us luck tonight or something. I talked to him. I talked to him on Facebook. He's cool. Hi, Robert.
That's what's up.
Sadge says hi. Yeah, he's cool. So I always appreciate it. I had a weird, kind of relationship with my dad because he was really sick and suffered from health problems, mental illness, all sorts of things, and so he didn't really leave the house and come to shows a lot. So I always kind of gravitated towards everybody else's dads who were into music and at shows and really so it was cool. But my dad recorded me at home and stuff. He loved when I got the acoustic guitar out and just sang. I know he wasn't into the rock and roll metal too much or whatever, but he cared. So, and I think I got flannels and like bib overalls and all sorts of stuff of his. I'd like to have maybe resized and kind of bring on stage, rock out. I always wanted to get the bib overalls grunge look. Kylie's, my art chick's, always nagging me. You gotta rock. You don't have the bib overalls. You gotta have the bib overalls. And I saw Chester do it and Lane, so I know I'm no Chester or Lane, but maybe one of these days I'll rock out some bib overalls for my dad. And I got those flannels. I love flannels. I almost wore one today, but so I'll bring them on stage with me. But I do want to thank my mom. She's a very awesome, strong woman. Takes anybody to practice when someone's car's down or whatever, and it's if we run into trouble or anything, moms are always there and cool. So
Absolutely.
We just had Mother's Day. Wasn't the greatest one, but there'll be more. But Sebastian's mom too. She's really awesome.
Totally
Tolerating us jamming out in the garage.
Yeah, for sure.
I make myself kind of at home and I destroy everything in my way.
In the corner.
All of our stuff there. And yeah. So
yeah.
It's good.
Definitely. Well, I'm going to go ahead and give some shout outs to my sponsors again, 5x5 Brewery down in Mission, Texas. Stop in there, get some beers. While you're there, get some motor rum and grub out and hang out, man. Check out some live local music and enjoy your local beers, man. Concert culture. Any of you guys out there putting shows on, you need somebody to run your sound, your lights, your DJing, you name it, they got you. Just hit up Concert Culture or hit up Matt Rios on Facebook, and he'll take care of you. This guy is worth the money. Might be a little priced, but he's worth the money, and he will work with you. But know that this guy brings sound, lights, and everything, so he is worth it. With that, I also want to give a shout out to my wife, who always has my back, who's had my back for almost 20 years now. So definitely shout out to her. and to all the people that listen in and support local and support Jackal's Corner. I thank you so much. I couldn't do this without any of you guys supporting it. So I thank you. I thank all the bands that have been on it. And I want to give a special thank you to Dirt Nap for taking time to sit down with me today.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Definitely, man. And guys, you want to go ahead and give the audience your info, how they can find you, where they can find your music, all that stuff?
Yeah. So our main platform as far as social media is Facebook. Got a pretty good following there. If you need to know anything about us, need to message us, that's kind of the best way. We do have an email. It's dirtnapbandpage@gmail.com. We got a YouTube. It's a little weak. We're working on it. So follow us on there. All you Facebook followers, go subscribe there as well.
Yeah, please go over to our YouTube and give it some love. If you're on our Facebook and have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, you really should do so.
As far as music outlets, we go through DistroKid, so we're on everything you can think of.
iTunes,
Amazon Music, everything. You found us on Spotify, so it's doing some good.
Yep,
Yeah,
definitely.
You want to
That's
find
news
us,
to
you can
me.
find us out there.
It's good.
It's definitely good. So guys that are listening again, guys, definitely, I highly recommend you guys go and listen to Dirt Nap. I played 2 of the songs on this tonight. So guys, just look into these guys because they are a really awesome band that definitely needs to be heard by people. Or your dogs or cats. Show everybody.
Yeah, we don't discriminate based off of species.
Great music for cats.
Yes. So
Big cat people here. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got 3. Yeah, right now.
Well, thank you very much for having us. We appreciate the opportunity to talk to you. It was a blast.
absolutely,
Thank you very
man.
much.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for being on, man.
Oh yeah, man.
Definitely, man. So yeah, man. I'll get back in touch with you guys about getting you guys booked down here, man. And
We are looking forward to it, man.
definitely, brother. Well, thank you for coming on. And for now, that will be Jackal's Corner. So peace, love, and unity to you guys out there.
Good night and have a pleasant tomorrow, as I like to say, right?
Yes.
That's your new one, right?
Oh yeah, that's a good one right there.
Yes,
All right,
it's yours.
guys. Well, good night, guys, and I will be in touch with you guys.
Sweet. See you, man.
All right, bye.
Thank you.